just unpause that recording. So thank you for bearing with me for this particular session. So we're going to be talking tonight about bones, ligaments and muscles and what to do to support them. So just to give you a quick background, I'm an exercise physiologist with over 25 years experience. So I've helped a lot of people with lots of different issues, including bones, ligaments and muscle injuries. So, you know, it's quite interesting. So everyone responds differently. There's a lot of different pain levels that you get with particular type of injuries or issues as well. And I can include arthritis. So I also treat a lot of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, as well as osteoarthritis. And I'm getting a lot of osteoporosis people, meaning people who have osteoporosis or osteopenia, which is one step before osteoporosis. And exercise is one of those things that helps with everything. It doesn't matter what condition you have, what illness, what ailment, whether you do or don't have anything, exercise is needed because we are designed and created to move. And when we don't move, that becomes an issue. So a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, my daughter did a massive injury with her ankle. So she was playing touch football and someone accidentally came in for a touch and accidentally stood on her foot and also pushed her leg. So because of her foot was pinned to the ground, it couldn't move and it just went over and she did quite extensive damage. So she's done a full rupture of her ATFL, which is a main ligament in the foot. And then she's got some tears, partial tears in 2 other ligaments. And then there's other little bit of sort of swelling and tenderness and injury to do with the tendon sheath as well. So she's in a moon boot and she's out for the rest of the season. And her friend and my good friend Gina, her son, also did a foot fracture, so a toe fracture, an avulsion fracture, I think, and I'm sorry if that's wrong, but so he's in a moon boot as well. So there's 2 of them in the same class in a moon boot. But so I'll just give you a quick rundown of what both Gina and I did with our children for those injuries. Now I'll just I've got a whole array of oils here beside me. Blah, 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 there. And lavender. Okay, so 2 or 3 drops of each. And you need just put them in your hand, the palm of your hand, and add a carrier oil. So sweet almond oil or grapeseed oil or V6 oil as well. So 2 drops or 3 drops of lavender, excuse me, wintergreen, cypress, very good for those sorts of injuries, and helichrysum. So helichrysum is actually very good for bruising. So when I looked up muscle and joint type things in our reference book, helichrysum is used to help with that bruising component of it. And of course, whenever you have an injury, the key component is to get that swelling down. So they recommend, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off with ice. I don't do that. I just ice for as long as possible. So I have 2 or 3 ice packs in the freezer, and it's just an ice pack. And I've got a cloth bag that I put it in, and I actually bandage it onto the joint. So it's usually your ankle, your knee, or whatever it is. So you bandage it on so it stays on. And when that becomes warm, then I just go and get another one because it's well protected in the actual cloth. I should have actually had it with me, but anyway, I took mine to work today. And that just protects so that you don't get burning. I think that's why they recommend 20 minutes so that you're not going to get an ice burn. That is very important to protect the skin. But what I do doesn't give me ice burn. And I think that the more you ice, the less bruising you have, the less swelling you get. So swelling impedes your healing process. So that's why it's really important to get that down. And then just on Sunday, I went out in sympathy with my daughter, and I've actually got a knee injury. So mine wasn't from my own fault or playing sport. Mine was from my dog. So my one of our dogs is only a year old, and he is about the height, exact height actually, of my knee joint. So I was standing outside. I'd been away for the weekend, had a great time boating and fishing. And I was playing frisbee with him. I'm just getting my support off so I can show you. And he started running around, and then our other dog decided that she would just join in, play with him, and so she distracted him, and he was running away from her, and at full pelt. He's very solid. He's quite skinny, but he's almost as heavy as her, and he's nowhere near as big as her, but he ran straight into my knee, and I was standing straight-legged. The force hit my knee, and it caused my knee to turn in medially. I thought I might have dislocated it, but thank goodness I didn't, because I looked down and it was still in alignment, but I was in agony. So I went down like a sack of potatoes. But anyway, so I came in and iced it straight away, and pretty much all that night as well. And I've got some medial collateral ligament damage as well as meniscus damage. So I'm getting a doctor's referral to get an MRI. So it's always good to get if it's quite bad, and if your physio recommends it. So I don't diagnose, that's out of my scope of practice, but a physio can. So then with those scans and things, you can actually know exactly what's going on, so you know how to treat it as well. So this is my support. So the brand of this one is called Donjoy. So it comes with a little compression stocking type thing first. So that goes on the outside, and that's for a knee. So you put that on first, and then this Donjoy. So it kind of looks a bit like Spider-Man-ish, but it's actually extremely comfortable. And when I put that on, because I forgot I actually had it. It's been a while since I needed it. And immediate relief. So it's support, but it's also pliable enough to give you a lot of movement. So that's called the Donjoy. That's the brand of it, and they are very good. And so you just place that over the knee, wrap it round. So that space there is for the kneecap, right? And so it's extremely comfortable. So then I just take my ice packs to work, put it in the freezer at work, and ice it as well, because I'm on my feet running exercise programs. So I can still work, but it gets a bit sore. So but what I tend to do for my particular one is a little bit different. So I'll use lemongrass. Lemongrass is good for ligaments as well. And the other thing that I use, if I can find it, which I did have, can't see it at the Penaway, of course. So that's extremely good for that pain relief, and of course the good old deep relief. I think I probably use that the most, Penaway and deep relief. And I found that that's very helpful in reducing my pain levels. General muscle tension, muscle soreness, kids play sport. Oh, Mum, can you rub my leg? Mum, can you rub my back? Mum, can you rub this? Mum. Anyway, so you think, yeah, righto. So this is my go-to. So I'll give it a really good massage with this, or you can just use plain oil, because I think the goal is to, just with sore muscles, is increase the circulation, but sometimes you need to take that pain away first. So you might want to relieve it is a oil that you can use just to try and relieve that tension first, and then let that sit for a few minutes. And then you come in and can sort of work on it. But so my general rule is to massage to increase the circulation. And then you add, I like to do a bit of layering technique. So there's a few different things that you can do. Penaway is good. But copaiba is that's the way I say it, so I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but I can't remember how everyone else pronounce it, so I'll just keep going. Copaiba, extremely good for muscles, and again, lemongrass still is as well. And you can never go past lavender. It's a go-to, so it's in your PSK. You won't ever regret using lavender for pretty much anything. So usually I have a rule of thumb: if in doubt, lavender and/or frankincense for anything. And the other one that is extremely good too is black pepper. Try, so that's really, really good. Peppermint is a soothing, relieving type of oil too for your muscles, so it's good for post-workout as well. So that's they're my main go-to oils. I do have roller blends that I use. So with muscle support, I'll use in a 5 ml dropper bottle, or not dropper bottle, roller ball. I'll use 5 drops of Panaway, 5 drops of peppermint, and 5 drops of copaiba. Talking about joints as well, I think like with arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, I think one of the most important things is our water intake. And that's for every system in our body, for our blood health, brain health, general digestion, weight loss, weight management, endocrine system, hormonal thing, everything is our water intake. And now I'm going to show you a equation that is a general rule of thumb to show if you're actually drinking enough water, and it's a target to go towards. So it's actually your body weight multiplied by 0.03 equals your litres to drink per day. So I gave you an example there of 80 kilogram body multiplied by 0.03. So you can actually see that it's 2.4 litres of water you should be drinking. So that just shows you how much we don't drink. So if you weigh more, you need to drink more. So that's a pretty good indication that we don't drink enough. So do that little test on you, and you can go, how on earth am I going to do that? So one of the things that you can do to increase your consumption and get a lot into you is the first thing you do in the morning is come and grab 2 glasses of water, so 200 to 250 mils glass of water, chug it down. I have to just chug, 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 do another one. And if you can, do 3. So if I'm used to it, I'll do 3 quite well. Otherwise, I'll just start with 1, but then you'll try and do 2. But that's a good way to get a good start for the day. And don't forget, do not include tea or coffee in your water count, okay, because they have caffeine in them and they're diuretics. But also you can include, your Nietzsche challenge, so your red drink challenge, you can include that because that's mostly water. So that's a good thing. That's a good way of getting that into there. When I was talking about oils before, about the pain and inflammation, frankincense is actually good to help with the inflammation and to reduce the inflammation. So that's one other thing that you can do. And then copaiba can actually help with the pain response. So it kind of improves the pain system and that feedback between your brain and the muscle or joint, whatever the issue is. So that's why copaiba is really good. So I've got a little note here for a joint support thing in a 5 ml roller bottle. 20 drops of, if I can find it, wintergreen. I love wintergreen. 15 drops of Idaho blue spruce, and then, sorry, I just dropped my oil, my apologies, and then 10 drops of balsam fir. So that is quite an expensive roller bottle. So that particular one for the 5 ml joint is about $9.30, because you are looking at quite expensive things. So you would use that when you really need to, but there are so many other oils that you can use that are cheaper. That would work as well. So if you are on a budget, there are other options. So don't forget, so a lot of information in here is in the pocket reference, and also the bigger desk reference as well. So they talk about layering technique, which is also very good. So I'll just look up a couple of things here. So tired and fatigued muscles, don't forget that you can be lacking in minerals. So I'll get onto that in a moment, but the layering technique that I referred to, it basically, so Jen O'Sullivan talks about it as well. Layering technique means that it will, the effect of each oil works on top of one another and has a better effect in a layered type of technique than just by themselves. And so if you've got the EO Bar app or the Live Well app as well, that's got quite a few things there about the layering method. So I'm just going to read this to you because they have it much more eloquently than what I do. So on your area of pain or focus area, a few drops of carrier oil. So they, in this particular app, it suggested grapeseed oil. Then you would add 1 to 2 drops of wintergreen, massage it in well. Add 1 drop of oregano and rub it in. So oregano is another good one too, and relatively cheap. If you experience any discomfort, you may add a couple more drops of carrier oil and finish by rubbing 2 to 3 drops of marjoram on the area for 60 seconds. Then hold your hand over the area for an additional 60 seconds to encase the oils. Okay, so that just increases the effect and the therapeutic action of them. So I mentioned before about the supplements. I don't want to take too long because they are individual, I guess, videos on them, but don't forget MegaCal. So that supports your bones and muscles as well, because your calcium and your magnesium, so you need that for your muscles. I'm also taking BLM, and so is my daughter for our injury. So we're taking 4 of those a day. We could even probably take more than that. But I also don't, she's a teenager, so I don't want her system to overload or take too much. So that's definitely going to help support your healing. I've also read that sulfazyme can help. Not only is it for skin and nails and hair and helps with the detox process, but it can also help your bones and things as well. The other general supplement is omega drives. All right, so I take those daily along with the olive essentials as well. So a lot of things actually have a dual purpose. So it's not just taking one supplement for one thing. Your body seems to know what it needs and takes those ingredients and then uses it where it needs. The one thing that I did forget to mention before, after I've massaged with the Ortho-Ease massage oil, then I put in all the oils on top, and then I just sort of finish off with a bit of Cool Azul as well. So that's also very good too. Now, I think that's all. I don't want to go on too much. There are a few other recipes that mention clove oil. I stick away directly on that for my skin. If I do, I have to wear a glove because it's very potent, and I tend to react a little bit to the strength of that oil. So I have to be very careful how I use that. There are Northern Lights black spruce as well, is another one that you can use to help support your muscles. There's Agile Ease for joints as well. There's Ningxia just is useful for every system of your body. And I'm sure, the pure protein powder as well, that actually helps with your muscle repair, muscle building. So that's a good one to use. So there's a whole heap of things. If you have a look in the back of the desk reference, and it's got a lot of different things that you can use for muscles and bones. So have a look at that chart. I'm going to now have a look at what messages or things we might have. So I'll just try here to go in here. Hi, Glenn. Yep, super important. Yes. So what were you talking about? The great for cooling down and nerve support as well for me. Is that peppermint, I think, if I am correct in thinking that, and yeah, lemongrass for the ligaments. So hi Linda, how are you? I see you there. Cool. All right, so there's no other questions, but again, movement, very important, just to get out there and move generally. Listen to what your physio says or your rehab specialist if you're carrying an injury. Please keep your supports on, your moon boots on. Kids are very hard to actually get them to do what they're told to, but it's there for a reason, because you're much better to rehab properly if you have everything in the right alignment and things are straight, and not healing incorrectly. So all right, so I just want to say thank you very much. I love being on here. Hopefully you might have got something out of that. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with by just adding some comments in. I just want to say thank you. I'm going to say bye. Have a great night. All right, bye.